Hey everyone! Today we're going to have some fun by drawing the schematics of this good-looking and versatile solenoid valve in EPLAN. Here's the schematics we're going to replicate.
And this is how we're going to do it. We'll first make the valve body. Next, we'll work on the actuation and the mechanical spring. Then the connection points, followed by the labels. Finally, we'll make it a window macro and add it in our library.
Let's go to EPLAN. First, let's create a new page. Before we start the drawing, make sure the grid size is set to 4 mm, object snap, and grid snap is on. Let's start with the valve body. First, let's draw a rectangle that's 32 mm by 24 mm. 32 by 24. We're going to draw an arrow and use a polyline to draw the arrowhead. Let's set the grid size to 1 and then draw a triangle that's 6 mm by 2 mm. Right there. And we'll right click and complete polyline. Let's set the grid size back to 4 and then draw the second arrow. We're going to copy this triangle and paste it here. And go to Edit. First, move the triangle to here, and we'll click the triangle, click Rotate, and click this point to rotate the triangle. Next, we're going to draw a port right here. And we'll change the grid size to 2 and draw a horizontal bar here. Right click, cancel action. Now we have half of the valve body. For this valve, notice the valve body is symmetrical and we did half of the valve. That means we can just mirror what we just did to get the complete valve body done. Let's get back to our drawing board. Let's select, copy, and paste. And place it here. Let's select the part to be flipped. Go to Edit and flip about this line. And let's move this back here. Now we have the entire valve body.
Actuation and the return spring are nothing but rectangle, straight lines, and polylines, so we'll fast forward this process.
Let's add these bars to our pneumatic ports we'll be using for the connections. Make sure the grid size is 4 mm and type DC pole in the search box and enter. We'll drop this bar right under the lower 3 ports, 2, and 3, and right above the top 2 ports, 1 and 2. Select all vertical bars, right-click, Properties. We'll remove the display tags and the connection point designations. And for the lower 3 bars, right-click, Properties. We'll use variant C, so it's facing up. Notice the line thickness of the shapes we've drawn is a little thicker than the ones we grabbed from the library. So let's make the line thickness consistent in our valve. Select everything, right-click, and go to Properties. We'll set the line thickness to 0.25 millimeters. Apply. Notice the properties, this change has only been applied to rectangles. That's because we right-clicked on the rectangle. So we're going to do the same thing for the polylines and the lines. Let's right-click on the polyline and set the line thickness to 0.25 and right-click on one of the lines, set the thickness to 0.25. This is going to take a while because there are many lines. Now we have a nice, consistent line thickness in our valve body. Let's take a look at the example and see what we missed. As you can tell, we pretty much have everything except for these labels. So let's add them. Back to the drawing board, click Insert, Text, and we'll add a text box near each vertical bar and near the push button. Then we're going to change the text to match what we have in the example. 3, 4, 2, and this is 1, 4. There we go. And we'll make the font of these texts a little bigger so that they're easier to read. So select all the text boxes, go to Properties, Format, and increase the font size to 3.5 millimeters. OK. Finally, let's create a window macro for this solenoid valve. First, let's group it. Select everything we have here, go to Edit, and click Group. Now we click on the grouped geometry, right-click, and create window macro. As for the file name of this macro, I usually throw in the part number. And the part number for the solenoid valve could be found on Festo website. So let's copy this and paste it here. Since this is an example, I'm just going to add example in front of the part number. And this macro file will be saved to this directory. Let's click OK. Now, if we search the part number of this file, of this macro, example, and go to Window Macros, you'll see the solenoid valve is here. And we can double-click and drop it to our drawing board anywhere we want. Hopefully this helps, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and have fun learning.